Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to another Studio Ghibli month review. Today, as you can tell, we are reviewing Porco Rosso. This is one of the most recent Studio Ghibli films I've seen, um, just like with Poco. It's a lot newer and fresher in my mind, and I've only seen it once. So if I get some of the details a little wrong or mixed up or whatnot, just feel free to correct me in the comments below. But Porco Rosso centers around the character of the same name. He's a pilot and kind of this cynical character who is cursed to look like a pig. Though we never find out the exact meaning behind the curse or the exact way he was cursed, um, it's really not important to his character. Porco is voiced by Michael Keaton, who you might know as playing Batman in the 1989 Batman movie, as well as Beetlejuice. Here he gives a much more like cynical, just hard pressed type of character. He's like this guy who's been through shit, and he's not afraid to tell you he's been through shit. He does have this ego to him though, and he's a little bit misogynistic to a point. But he's willing to grow and he's willing to change, as we see throughout the movie. Now we have some other characters who are great in this film as well. We have Donald Curtis, an American pilot voiced by, funny enough, British actor Cary Elwes, who you might know from The Princess Bride. Cary Elwes is fantastic as Donald Curtis. He gives like this sort of this larger than life personality to Donald Curtis. He comes across as like this egotistical, but not mean, not horrible, not evil type of guy. He comes across as very just self-centered, and he wants to kind of be this big star. He has dreams of being a Hollywood actor. He's just kind of egotistical and self-centered. He's not actually a bad guy though. We have Madame Gina, this beautiful rich lady who's voiced by Susan Egan, who I had mentioned in my Spirited Away review as the voice of Lynn. She's also Rose Quartz in Steven Universe, and she is Meg in Disney's Hercules. Susan Egan is fantastic as Madame Gina. She's this very composed and just very controlled woman. She knows what she wants. She knows how she wants it, and she's just kind of she's letting it go naturally. She has these conversations with both Porco and Donald that play off in a little bit of a different way. With Porco, she comes across as very sincere and caring, and with Donald, she almost has this sass to her. She almost has this like sassy cleverness and wit to her dialogue. We also have some gang bosses. Most notable is the gang boss for the Mama Aiuto gang, who's voiced by Brad Garrett. That's just hilarious. He kind of comes across as a little incompetent, but also he's kind of one of the more likable characters. And this film has a lot of likable characters. He's just, you can't help but love him. Yes, he's a gang boss. Yes, he's a bit of a thug. But just, there's certain scenes, like in the later half of the film, that just make him come across as this just really likable and fun character who you just can't help but root for. Then you have the Piccolos, Mr. Piccolo and Fio Piccolo. While in Italy, Porco Rosso is visiting Mr. Piccolo, who's an old friend and a mechanic, in order to fix his plane. Mr. Piccolo is voiced by the now late David Ogden Stiers, who you would know as Cogsworth from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. He comes across as this kind of fun, almost he's this like kind of fun character who likes to mess with Porco and just kind of like joke around with him and whatnot. But at the same time, he also he's serious about what he does, and he's more than willing to take Porco's money in order to do his job. Mr. Piccolo has a huge, very expansive family that is shown throughout the movie. but the one to really focus on is his daughter, Fio. Fio is another one of those strong Studio Ghibli characters, female characters, who is just everything about her is fantastic. Um, she's honestly one of my favorite characters, along with Madame Gina and the Mama Ayuto gang boss. Fio, she's strong, she's passionate, she's determined, she knows what she loves, and she's not afraid to show it. She doesn't take any crap from Porco Rosso. She's not even flinched. She doesn't even flinch. She doesn't even falter whenever he goes about like saying, "Oh, women can't be mechanics" and stuff like that. She proves him wrong instead. She proves him wrong by being the best damn mechanic she can be, and she even goes off with him during the later part of the movie and shows some just real strength in confrontation against other characters as well. Um, and yeah, it's just the movie, its story is pretty simple. We have Porco Rosso being like this cynical pilot who's just kind of he's a veteran fighter ace, and he kind of works as a bounty hunter. He kind of works as this like bounty hunter, trying to just survive and get through. Um, but in the end, he's not really like super into anything anymore, outside of just flying in general. Um, and the story centers around basically him just learning to love again, learning to be passionate about something again, learning to stop seeing the world with this cynical, angry worldview, and just kind of grow and adapt to how the world has changed. The biggest part of this film, like the big climax, centers around this duel between Porco and Curtis, and they come across as this like really friendly rivalry, not like a Yugi Kaiba rivalry, like from Yu-Gi-Oh, but kind of just this friendly rivalry. Like they're rivals, yes, but they're not gonna like hate on each other or attack each other for no reason. They just want to go at each other because they want to prove that they're better than the other. um, it's really fun, and the ending duel between them is fantastic. I could go on about the voice acting, art and animation, all of that jazz. It's just always the same. It's always going to be great with all of these Studio Ghibli films. And really, this one was one that surprised me. I describe Porco Rosso as a movie that should not have worked, but did. And the reason I say it should not have worked is because, one, Porco Rosso's character, if you think of it and really like view him as for what he is, at the beginning and throughout a lot of the movie, he's kind of this disgusting pig, hence his appearance. Um, he's this disgusting pig who's kind of just given up on the world, and you should not like him. You're not really supposed to, but by the end, you're rooting for him along with Fio, and it's like, how did you get here? And you don't even really know. Looking back on it, it's like, how did I get here? How did I get to the point where I'm rooting for this guy? I hated this guy at the beginning. And it reminds me of this other anime series called Great Teacher Onizuka. Great Teacher Onizuka is one of those series where the main character is just this is a detestable douchebag at the beginning. But he changes and grows throughout the series to a degree where it's like at the end, you're like ready to stand on your desk and say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." Reference to famous movie you might know, by the way. um, yeah, it's just Onizuka becomes this great character as the series progresses, and it's amazing because at the end you wonder, like, how did we get there? How did we get to the point where I like this guy? This guy who was a douchebag, a horrible role model, a sexist pig. And it's the same with Porco Rosso. How did I come to like this character? But it's because he grows and changes, because he evolves as a character, because he has depth to him. That makes him so well. And it's not just him that is why I feel that this movie should not work. The story itself is kind of simplistic, and there's not much of anything to it. It's like, okay, he's a disgraced fighter pilot. He has this duel. He goes off to Italy. He gets his plane fixed. He comes back. He has another duel. That's it. That's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. There's nothing really big to it. There's no real big plot points or a lot of great things that happen. It's just somehow through the voice acting, through the writing, through the characters and the art and animation, it becomes something more. And of course, there's more to it than what I just listed, but it's one of those movies that is just so simple and basic and has a character you should not like and you don't at first. It should not have worked, but it did, and it's really enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Studio Ghibli film, but I really love it. And it's definitely one I will come back to and watch again in the future. But tell me your thoughts on Porco Rosso in the comments below. What do you think of it? And thank you so much for tuning in today. For now, I'm Connie Royal, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.